We've come to a point in the Assassin's Creed story timeline where shit is so fucking convoluted I just stopped caring at this point. We came all the way from the Jesus land to the Spartan country in a span of 13 years. 13 years, boys. Yeah, that's how fucking old we are now, and Ubisoft is still batshit insane with the Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm not hating on the series, it's completely impossible for me to hate it because I've played Odyssey, I've played Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 2, and more for just an immeasurable amount of hours. But the thought process of loving a franchise but having zero fucking idea what the hell is even happening anymore keeps me up at night. I sometimes question myself, why did I even like Assassin's Creed Odyssey? I really just can't even put my finger on it, and I assume it's because I'm an RPG kind of guy. Odyssey was an RPG for better or worse, it depends on your taste for video games. But from a completely neutral standpoint, Odyssey makes no sense to be an Assassin's Creed at all. The franchise is totally in a completely different dimension, and then Odyssey is somewhere in the nether realm. Here, let me explain. In Origins, we start to see the formation of the Brotherhood and how the ideology of the Creed starts to come to fruition. So at least story-wise, I can follow it to a degree. However, in Odyssey, I am convinced someone had an idea to create another 300 game, and the board of execs said, no, that's already been done. How about we make a 300 game, but it's Assassin's Creed instead? I can see what they kind of tried to do here with trying to expand on the Isu lore and showcasing the early rise of Templars or the earlier version of Templars and how that sort of ideology sort of came to fruition as well. But at the same time, what the fuck is any of this? It hits so wrong in a variety of different ways. From the perspective of a normal fan that likes the simple storytelling of a play a game, then cutscene, play more of the game, then cutscene, this sort of game is incredibly hard to digest, especially considering it's supposed to be somehow sorted into the franchise, and it's so convoluted that you can't actually play the game, cutscene, play the game, and cutscene. I mean, I guess you technically can, but at the same time, you're still going to be confused. Just to put things into perspective, right? Just to give you all this information, I've had to spend actual days watching videos and sitting on Reddit just to understand what the fuck I even played. And going into the lore would be its own video and would take too long just for this one. I'm trying to keep this short and sweet, but let's just instead take a look at parts of the game that I like and also things that I just think are genuinely bad. So boom, alright, dating all the way back to 2007, Assassin's Creed just drops. You have the most simplistic form of combat where you parry and then get a kill. Simple, beautiful, just easy. Easy to digest, easy for the thug, the simple-minded freak that just wants to get into a game. It's very, very simple. I cannot stress that enough. You get this little flashy animation that puts the man into the dirt, and that's it. Bada boom, done. Now rinse and repeat that for 20 games. At first glance, this is totally boring and fucking retarded for today's standards, at least. Shit, even honestly, let me be realistic here. By today's standards, I'd rather have this than this. So that's just where we're at in my personal opinion. This here isn't bad, but like this, I like this. The problem with Odyssey's combat is that everything is bullet spongy and you have no bullets. You ever just play a video game and you have this high-tech piece of machinery that is meant to kill people, but then it doesn't, and it does, but like it takes 40,000 bullets just to put them in the dirt? Yeah, that is Assassin's Creed Odyssey's combat in a nutshell. How are you gonna have assassin and then no assassination? Like, there is assassinations, but sometimes the assassinations don't kill people, so how is that an assassination? The game title, the contradiction. This is no. This is a perfect example of me just taking something so simple for granted. Back in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, this mechanic for parry then kill was the sole reason for replayability. I would go around with 2 fortresses and raid boats for hours just doing that, and it was fun for me because it gave me the feeling of being so good that I was able to beat anyone in a sword fight. At times, I even let my own imagination run wild. This is back when I was like, 13 and shit, but that's besides the point, okay? I would give the guy I'm fighting a backstory and how he challenged me, the sword duelist, the best guy on planet Earth. I would parry him over and over and over again, let him know like, ha, you thought you could take me, you fucking peasant, and then boom, I would just end his life in a single fell swoop of my saber, and it was over in an instant. Just like that. My own imagination made the game fun. I did half the game design for you. You didn't even have to do the story. I made my own up, and it was fun. With the new Assassin's Creed, yeah, that's not so easy when you gotta stab a guy 60 times before he dies. The disconnect between the reality of sword fighting in this game is so weird. Odyssey has this odd, tedious way of making you feel like you're trying to kill someone, but then you stab the guy and he's not dead. You want me to work for the kill. I get it. You want to make the game a little bit more challenging and harder and something that is more rewarding, but instead you ended up making something tedious, which is rather upsetting. Fast forwarding to 2013, we got the heavy hitter Black Flag.
Now you're ready to sail for the horn. Play, roll, and go.
This is where the game takes a turn and the story becomes less about assassins and more about fucking pirates. Not like actual like having sex with pirates, but like pirates as a whole. You get the fucking point. This version of Assassin's Creed is where we get the ocean DLC in the franchise, where 70% of the game is sea shanties and 30% of the game is water. And this was fine for me because I am the Kraken that sank countless ships day after day in that game. But we get to the point in the franchise where Ubisoft says, hey guys, the players really like boats, so let's feature boats in every fucking game, even when it makes no sense. Odyssey sailing was nowhere near as charming as it was back in Black Flag. Was it fun? I mean, yeah, it was alright. It's fun for the first few times, but then it borders the line of tedium where you can't even traverse the ocean without fucking Spartan Marines trying to sex you up out back. I don't know who was more of a fucking pirate, Edward Kenway or the goddamn Leonidas bitches that were just roaming around everywhere. The idea of having to travel to all these different islands and cross the sea just feels incredibly slow, and this is because everyone wants a piece of your ass. Boom. That's where I quit, because I got tired of where the game decided to go. The whole point of this video is because I'm at a total loss with this franchise. With Valhalla coming soon, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen anymore. I love Assassin's Creed as a franchise, but I feel so disconnected from it that I'm playing this game with Assassin's Creed name on it, but I don't feel it anymore. I just don't. But Valhalla is about Vikings, so it's already a 10 out of 10, so I guess I'm buying it.